When the applause finally dwindles to a soft murmur and the bright stage lights dim for good, what memories cling to a legend's soul? It's not the awards lined neatly on shelves. It's not the standing ovations that once shook theaters. It's not even the timeless roles that secured her place in Hollywood's story. For Diane Keaton, what endured in those quiet, late-night moments were 6 unforgettable faces, 6 men who marked her heart forever. At 79, on the threshold between memory and silence, she allowed a private truth to surface. There were 6 men she could never truly let go of. Some brought a joy so loud it shattered her solitude. Others left behind invisible wounds that pulsed gently beneath her smile. Each name carried a different weight, a glowing spark, a faded bruise, an echo that lingered long after love itself had ended. Beneath the iconic hats, the mischievous wit, and the radiant charm lived a woman who loved recklessly, lost deeply, and discovered, too late, that even icons are not spared heartbreak. Before we travel through her story, pause for a moment to honor her. Tap the like button and leave a for the woman who transformed pain into art, turned stillness into brilliance, and let her vulnerability shine like a beacon that never went out. That first encounter with love always arrives unguarded, untouched by logic, unclouded by fear. It glows like sunlight through dusty glass, and it fades gently like the last light sinking into the sea. Faces may blur over time, but the heart keeps the shiver of that first moment when forever seems real. It was 1968. Diane was 22, anonymous in the vibrant pulse of New York, a city humming with rain, smoke, and jazz. In a modest audition room off-Broadway, a young woman with a crooked grin stumbled through her lines for a wiry playwright with cautious eyes, Woody Allen. He was not yet the legend he would become. She was not yet his muse. 2 curious minds collided in half-shadow. Something stirred, not romance, not yet, but recognition. He chuckled at her mistakes. She laughed with him. The energy shifted. What began as rehearsal turned into ritual. Their shared laughter became a language of its own. He was fascinated by her unpredictable charm. She was drawn to the sharpness of his intellect. Their connection spilled onto the silver screen. Play it again. Sam, 1972. Sleeper, 1973. Love and Death, 1975. Every project carried the heartbeat of their bond. He wrote with her in mind until she wasn't just acting. She became the rhythm of his creative world. Then came 1977 and Annie Hall. They spent countless nights in his apartment rewriting scenes. She'd drift off on the couch while he typed through dawn, the city lights blinking against the glass. When the film premiered, the laughter belonged to the world, but the silences in between belonged only to them. At 32, when Annie Hall won 4 Oscars, she stood trembling under the spotlight, scanning the crowd for him, and saw only a flurry of flashbulbs. The film that made her immortal had quietly splintered her heart. Success swept in like a thief, gifting them the world while stealing the intimacy that had fueled it. His world was ideas. Hers was emotion. One night their laughter simply stopped. The next morning he handed her new pages. She smiled as she read, but inside she felt him slipping away. He once told her, "I make movies for an audience of 1." She never forgot, because she was that one. It was both a blessing and a quiet wound. To be cherished for what you inspire, but not fully for who you are. Years passed. In 1993, at 47, she reunited with him for Manhattan Murder Mystery. The instant she stepped on set, 15 years vanished. One shared laugh, one look, and their rhythm returned. "You still know the beats," he told her. She smiled. Some bonds don't dissolve. She kept one of his old letters folded away at home, yellowed, but never thrown out. Sometimes she'd watch their films alone, whispering the lines they once forged together. "He made me brave," she said later. No resentment. Just the quiet tenderness that belongs to first love. To the world, she was Annie Hall. In her heart, there was always Woody, the man who changed her, wounded her, completed her, and showed her that love, like art, can burn brightest when it refuses to last. If Woody was the first flame, Al Pacino was the storm. By 1971, both were standing on the brink of stardom. On a dusty soundstage beneath a single lamp, they met. He was a wiry Bronx kid with winter in his gaze. She was California sunlight wrapped in linen. Their eyes met, not in sparks, but in quiet recognition, like two travelers realizing they'd been following the same path. He was cast as Michael Corleone. In that moment the script fell away. Her hesitant smile cracked something open inside him. She saw the loneliness behind his armor. There was a sadness in him, she remembered. I wanted to make him laugh. And she did. Their chemistry flowed off camera, sharing sandwiches on curbs, late-night conversations, trembling hands steadied by the other. They were opposites that fit perfectly, his fierce intensity balanced by her warmth. When the camera rolled, their connection didn't need direction. Every glance between Michael and Kay carried real emotion. The Godfather, 1972, transformed them into icons. Fame rose slowly, like golden dawn, headlines, flashes, endless attention. But behind the noise, they carved out their own sanctuary, poems tucked in scripts, Polaroids left on pillows with Neruda lines, whispered late-night phone calls where she'd gently remind him, "Don't forget to eat." Small phrases. Huge devotion, but light cast shadows. Distance grew quietly. Schedules, oceans, unspoken fears. She yearned for commitment. He recoiled from permanence. "I told him I wanted marriage," she said later. "He told me love was enough. But love can't live forever on maybe." Their ending in 1981 arrived without fireworks. Only rain, zippers, and silence. "I can't keep waiting for you to want all of me," she whispered. He stood frozen, watching her disappear into the night. "He broke my heart," she said afterward. "He didn't mean to." Neither did. Their heartbreak found its way into their work. Reds, 1981. Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977. Scarface, Scent of a Woman. When they reunited for The Godfather Part 3 in 1990, that old rhythm briefly resurfaced. Lingering glances. Loaded silences. "I thought we'd find our way back," she admitted. But life isn't a movie. When asked if he regretted not marrying her, Pacino paused. "Regret?" he said quietly. "Every day. She was the one that got away, and I let her." Their love didn't fade. It transformed. Into art, into memory, into the tender ache behind their eyes. 9 years, from 1972 to 1981, enough to build a life, too little to complete it. About 2 years later, Warren Beatty entered her world. She was 35, glowing, but exhausted. He was 43, brilliant, intense, unpredictable. They met on Reds and their chemistry crackled. "I couldn't tell where the film ended, and we began," she confessed. He challenged her like no one else, pulling her apart and rebuilding her piece by piece, but Warren was chasing perfection, not partnership. She saw it clearly in the editing room, watching him examine the version of her he'd shaped. She loved him for it, even as it wore her down. By 1982, their connection ended softly, with gratitude instead of heartbreak. "Warren didn't break my heart," she said. "He reminded me it could still beat." Love returned later in gentler, unexpected forms. In 2003, at 57, she starred opposite Jack Nicholson in Something's Gotta Give. He was 66. Their chemistry wasn't explosive. It was a steady, comforting glow. "He made me laugh until I forgot to be careful," she said. He called her one of the few who can still surprise me. This was love as warmth, not fire. That same year, she shared a quiet bond with Keanu Reeves, then 39, thoughtful, kind, carrying unspoken sorrows. He brought her tea, listened closely, held her hand just a heartbeat longer. They didn't date. They didn't have to. Their connection was tenderness, not possession. When they appeared together at the 2020 Oscars, time had done nothing to dull their warmth. Then came Richard Gere. She'd once harbored a crush during Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977, unnoticed by him then. Decades later, they reunited on Maybe I Do, 2023. "You've aged beautifully," he teased. "You too," she smiled. "I earned every wrinkle." Their reunion wasn't about romance. It was about shared history, ease, and grace. He didn't make her heart race. He made it rest. In 1996, real love found her when she adopted her daughter Dexter. And again 5 years later with her son, Duke. They saved me, she said, not from loneliness, but from forgetting the feeling of love itself. Her home filled with tree houses, packed lunches, late-night giggles. I thought I wanted romance, she joked. I wanted family. By 2025, illness returned quietly. She faced it with grace, wandering barefoot through her lavender garden each morning, filling journals with gratitude. On October 11th, 2025, soft sunlight poured through her library window. A steaming teacup sat beside her. Her glasses rested on an open page that read, "I used to fear being alone. Now I know aloneness is where love returns." She passed peacefully. No spectacle. Just a breath slipping into eternity. Her children released a simple statement. Our mother passed peacefully at home, surrounded by light, love, and the world she built with her own hands. Fans gathered outside her Brentwood home. Flowers, candles, folded turtlenecks. Woody Allen wrote, "It's grammatically wrong to say most unique, but rules don't apply to Diane.